What can you even say at this point? The Yankees got swept by the Mets for the season. We're going to talk about it.
You are Locked On Yankees, your daily New York Yankees podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Welcome to Locked On Yankees, which is part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Thank you for making us your first listen every day. I'm Stacey Gotsoulias. This episode of Locked On Yankees is brought to you by Booking.com. Booking.yeah, the right stay can make you a fan of any city, even your rivals. Check out Booking.com for your stay today. With me, as usual, my co-host, Brian McKeon. Brian.
It's unfortunate that we can't really drink on this show.
I mean, I don't think there's anything in the rules that say we can't drink on the show. I'm just afraid I might start cursing, and we're not allowed to do that on this show.
Yeah, sponsors don't appreciate it. Stacey, I think I'm going to approach this a little different than usual, though. I think I'm not going to be angry. I think I'm going to try, obviously the manager of the Yankees has his job because he knows how to manage a team. He knows more than we do. So instead of being angry like we were yesterday, and instead of being all aggravated about how bad the team was, I think we're going to approach this a little bit differently today. So I look forward to the rest of this episode. Let's start asking questions and running it off like we usually do, and I'll keep my eye on the comments. And I thank all you guys for listening, and I'm going to approach this like Aaron Boone would and see how quickly you get annoyed.
All right. Well, before we get started with everything, don't forget, subscribe to the podcast. We passed 6,800 today. We passed 6,700 yesterday. We passed 6,800 today. We had our second highest viewed video today. So, today as in Wednesday. So thank you so much for the support. So don't forget, subscribe to us on whichever podcasting platform you prefer. Subscribe to the channel on YouTube, like our videos, comment on the videos, and hit the bell so you're notified. So it's a postmortem, really, is what this whole episode is. I'm not even going to do a rundown because we're commiserating with you. We're commiserating with each other. And yeah, we're just going to see where this goes.
No, I disagree. I think they're right there. Like, they played really well tonight. You know what? They may have not scored a lot of runs, but the at-bats were solid. They saw a lot of good pitches. Manaea was terrific. He knew how to speed them up and slow them down, which was tough for the Yankees. But they had really good at-bats, saw really good pitches. They're right there.
I had to laugh earlier because Phil Hughes tweeted at 9:47 p.m., "The Yankees are close. I can feel it." Mm-hmm. And I replied, "It's right in front of them, Phil. It's right in front of them."
What's funny is if you hear what Buster Olney said at the end of the god-awful broadcast on ESPN, which is, I could do it 45 minutes on the broadcast. If you hear what he said, he suggested the Yankees' way of fixing this and getting themselves out of this problem is to make an overhaul trade deadline move and trade for like 7 players like they did in 2000. And it worked in 2000, sure. The idea of doing that, where you would have to now empty your entire farm system and essentially start over from scratch as a franchise, I don't think that's happening either. They are at a point now. I don't care how easy the schedule appears to be in August, because you've seen everybody talk about that. Heck, we did a show on it, how their schedule is so favorable in August, and there's really an opportunity to turn things around here. Stacey, all of those teams that are really bad, that see the Yankees coming into town, are all saying what we're saying. Oh, good. There's 3 wins for us.
Right.
That's what they're saying. And we know this Yankee team is better. We know they are. But I don't want to come on every single show because it feels like over the last month we've called for Aaron Boone's job, right? Our second highest video ever viewed yesterday. We really thank you guys. We're almost at 10,000 views in less than 24 hours. What more do you guys want us to say as fans of the show? Because we appreciate you guys. We see you guys listening. And after the performance like this, I know, I think most Yankee fans are aware the Yankee-Met rivalry is a completely overblown thing by people who really don't watch baseball. But besides that, you did just get swept by your inner-city rivals, a team that started the year off 0-5. People were laughing at the New York Mets, calling this a restart year for the New York Mets. They're a heck of a lot better than you, and they proved that tonight. They scored 12 runs on the Yankees and definitely could have scored more because they were toying with them towards the end of this game. There is no motivation on this team. There is no care on this team. I had to hear in the last inning from the broadcast about how, isn't it so cool how Gerrit Cole and Aaron Judge and Giancarlo Stanton are at the top step of the dugout? They really care. I don't care how much they care. Win ball games. Okay? Right. Get base hits. I want to hear Aaron Judge call the team out. I know Aaron Judge has had this unbelievable, historic MVP season, and I'm really happy about that. Call somebody out. Not a single player on this team has been called out this year. Not a single player. Nobody has been referred to about how bad they've played this year. You let Gleyber Torres off, who actually had a pretty good game. 2 extra base hits, really had a nice game. What did that do? Everything past the 3-hitter tonight was completely irrelevant. We saw DJ LeMahieu come in with the bases loaded and just a ground ball into ground ball into ground ball. That's every at-bat for DJ LeMahieu today. He hits a home run the other day, and we acted like a kindergartner just spelled the word because for the first time. I can't... And you watch this team every single night, and God bless the fans who don't have to watch it every single night of our show. We have to, because this is how we get employed. But it is an every single night thing, and I don't know how, as an owner of a franchise, you could watch yourself get blown out in essentially 2 straight games because they were non-competitive the night before. How you can get blown out in essentially 2 straight games, swept for the season series against the Mets, where the last series isn't that raw. It was about a month ago. And look, this you get the All-Star break. It gets a chance to restart your season, and you look worse than you did prior to the All-Star break after collapsing in the month of June. I don't know how an owner of a team can go forward and keep the same manager. They will, because we've seen them do it countless times now. I don't know how you go forward. Or without making some move, some upgrade, something. Because there is a countless amount of people that I know that don't watch baseball on a daily that know that something needs to be done for this team. I don't know what else there is to do with this team. I don't.
Well, you had mentioned how everything basically falls off after the 2 and 3 hitter. So here's some disturbing info for all of you. The Yankees' OPS from every spot in the batting order besides 2 and 3 since June 15th. That's the magical date when everything started falling apart. The day after they improved to 50 and 22, the number I'm constantly saying. Only the White Sox are worse. Only the White Sox are worse. Also, the Yankees are 6 and 15 in their last 21 home games. They can't even win games at home at this point. That is terrible, because that used to be actually at the beginning of the season. They were pretty good at home and good on the road, and now they're just bad everywhere. They are bad everywhere.
We're about a month and a half since that day. They have 10 more wins.
Well, it's a month and all right,
10 days, whatever.
A month and 9-10 days. But yeah, it's I don't think I've ever seen anything like this. I don't even think we saw this in 2022 with how bad they were. This is unbelievable. This is absolute with that roster. The roster is not that terrible. There are so many guys who are not hitting that should be hitting, and only 2 guys who are hitting. Oh, also, can I just point this out before I forget, because you had mentioned the ESPN broadcast. Soto hits the ball, and Ravitch says that it was hit fairly deep. The ball went 443 feet into Monument Park. Fairly deep. That's fairly deep to you? Is the glue from his hair hat affecting his brain? I don't understand. Like, I don't get
that whole broadcast. And again, I could do a 40-minute show on how atrocious that broadcast is. It's so sad that we went from, I mean, at least when I was a child, from John Miller and Joe Morgan and the great broadcast where they made a spring training game feel like a big game, to what we have now on television. It is so hard to watch this broadcast. It is so they spent 4 innings re-showing a highlight of Francisco Lindor high-fiving his daughter, and you're like, look at how good he's a family man. The Yankees could all not be family men. If they won games, I wouldn't care. I don't care how good I'm sorry. Like, it's nice. It's a nice story. Great. I really genuinely don't care if Francisco Lindor is a good father or not. It means nothing to me. As a fan of the sport, as a baseball fan, if I'm a Mets fan, I don't care. And they obsessed over him high-fiving his daughter like we've never seen a father get along with a daughter before. That was insane to me. Then you got to hear later on how, and I'm not a Francisco Lindor hater, but if Francisco Lindor played like this in the month of April, he'd be the leading candidate for MVP in the National League. Dude, just slow down. I know you want to act like the players that you're covering at the moment are playing really well, and Lindor has been really good in the last 2 months. But are you forgetting that Shohei Ohtani's got like almost 40 home runs already? I mean,
Right.
give me a break, dude. I mean, like, I get it. You want to make everything seem like a big game, but we are just, I mean, this broadcast is so bad. And it was better when Aaron Boone was in the broadcast. Heck, I would give him a job on that broadcast immediately tomorrow if he wanted to get his butt out of New York. I don't know how, as an owner of a team, and I've seen the comments in here, someone wrote earlier that it was hysterical because Hal isn't watching this game. He's counting his money on his couch, which may be true. I'd like to know, I can't imagine the owner of the Yankees is not focusing on what's going on right now. Is not like seeing this. I gotta think when they play the Mets, when they play the Red Sox, when they play these bigger, more elevated national TV games, he's focusing on it. And you can't lose these 2 games in a row to the Mets and lose them as badly as you've lost them and not think to do something. Not think something needs to be done. There is no press conference that's been held. There's no one getting fired. I mean, and I'm not saying someone's head needs to be on a stick every single time they lose 5 games in a row, but Stacey, is anybody else seeing what we're seeing? Is anybody else seeing what we're seeing?
I can't believe I'm going to say this, but I'm going to say this. Could you imagine if this happened while George was alive? The sweep from the Mets, because he used to get pissed off when they lost exhibition games to the Mets. Legit pissed off, like crazed, because, people always think of the old man Steinbrenner after he got suspended and towards the end of his life. He was legitimately insane for the first 20 years of his ownership. And he would freak out anytime that the Yankees lost the Mayor's Trophy in the exhibition game against the Mets. Could you imagine him sitting through this? No one would be here for the
Billy
game
Martin.
on Friday.
Billy Martin would be on his 3rd or 4th stint of the year by now.
Like, everyone would be gone. Every single person would be gone.
Everyone should be gone. I don't agree with the way George handled the team. And I think it shows, as history shows, George handled the team terribly in the 80s. He handled it terribly in the late 70s, terrible in the 90s. Even though they won 2 World Series in the late 70s, it was handled terribly. And even into the 90s, I don't give him a lot of credit for those teams because this is a guy that wanted to trade away Mariano Rivera at a time. So I'm not going to sit here and give him praise for winning those championships when they were built because he wasn't there and suspended. But Stacey, there's something to be said about having a little bit of fire. You can't go from 1,000 miles per hour to 15, which is what this current ownership is. I know you don't want to shake things up midseason. I know that's not the Yankees' mantra technically, but are you going to miss the playoffs now for a second straight year and win 80 games for a second straight year and go forward with, they saw good pitches. They're right there. They're not right there. They lost 12-2 to a team that can't hit. I mean, can we remember that? The Mets aren't a good offensive team. They're not.
Who usually can't hit, yeah.
And they hit 5 home runs tonight.
Yeah. All right. We have to do our thing, and then we'll continue this.
Pay the bills.
Okay. Don't forget, subscribe to the channel. We're normally not like this, but this team has made us like this. We don't normally scream a lot. We don't usually yell a lot, but this is what this team has driven us to. So, subscribe to the channel, hit the like button on our videos, hit the notification so you know when the videos go up. Also, reply down below on YouTube to the pinned comment Monday through Thursday. I will put it up after this runs because it's not there right now. If you want your questions answered for Fan Mail Friday, we do it every week. You guys basically produce the show. And if you're a Locked On Yankees insider, you get top priority and you appear in segment 1, but we will still answer your questions on YouTube. And the insiders have a lot of fun in that club. There's a 14-day free trial, so try it out if you want to. Coming up next, more of the same. We're just going to talk about this. We're going to talk this out. Locked On Yankees is brought to you by Supply House. Get supplies from the site that's made for the skilled trades. SupplyHouse.com. SupplyHouse.com is the reliable way to order plumbing, HVAC, and electrical products online. Their easy-to-use website is packed with helpful resources and the latest product info to help you get the job done right. Shop a complete inventory of over 200,000 parts from over 400 top brands and get your order delivered right to your door with fast shipping from coast to coast. Need help with an order? Get expert support and industry-leading service from the friendliest folks in the business, and you talk to a real person every time. Pros in the skilled trades can get a competitive edge by joining SupplyHouse.com's free Trade Master program. Every Trade Master gets access to a dedicated phone line, free shipping, and discounts on every order. Join the thousands of trade pros already benefiting from their free membership at supplyhouse.com/TM, which stands for Trademaster, and you can order plumbing, HVAC, and electrical supplies from anywhere with just a few clicks at supplyhouse.com. And Locked On Yankees is also brought to you by Gametime. Now, if you're looking for tickets for just about anything, check out Gametime. It's the fastest and easiest way to buy tickets for all the sports, music, comedy, and shows near you. They have deals on tickets right up to moments before your event starts. So the next time the Yankees are in town, if you want to sit through a game, you can find last minute tickets. And if you decide at, say, 7:15 to go for a 7:05 start and you're not going to get there till 8 o'clock, you'll still be able to get tickets. You can also find exclusive flash deals and sponsored deals on tickets for hockey, basketball, when they're in season, concerts, comedy, theater, and more. So take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Gametime. Download the app today and get $20 off your first purchase with code LOCKEDONMLB. Terms apply. That's code LOCKEDONMLB for $20 off. Download the Gametime app today. Last minute tickets, lowest price, guaranteed. Welcome back to Locked On Yankees. Locked On Sports Today is a free 24/7 sports streaming channel programmed for you every day to bring you the biggest stories without all the noise. Locked On Sports Today brings you can't-miss analysis, opinions, and news, streaming 24/7 on YouTube or the free Amazon Fire TV channels app, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Don't forget, you can catch every pitch of the Yankees' hometown broadcast with SiriusXM. Just download the SXM app and search the word Yankees. Let's bring Brian back in here. There he is.
Yeah, no overreaction as you'd think in the comments. I do want to go after one person. AA writes, and does anyone really think Cole is an ace? He's nothing more than a number 3. Dude, let's back up a little bit. I'm angry. I'm as angry as you are. Lou just said, if Cole opts out, we shouldn't re-sign him. Guys, I love this team as much as all of you do. Trust me, right here. You're not getting rid of Gerrit Cole. He did win the Cy Young last year. Let's not forget that. And it wasn't a great start today, and he hasn't gotten off. He didn't have a true spring training this year. He's come in. He's still throwing 97 on the black. He still has really good stuff. He's not a number 3 pitcher. If trust me, if the Yankees let him walk this offseason, if he opts out, which he probably will do, and they let him walk this offseason, trust me, Gerrit Cole will become Gerrit Cole again. He will still be throwing 100 miles an hour on the black, a filthy pitch. Gerrit Cole is still one of the best pitchers in all of baseball. And trust me, every single team that is willing to pay him will line up. And don't give me Ron Guidry 25 wins and 1.74 ERA. No one does that anymore.
Right.
No one does that anymore. I mean, find me the pitcher that still does that. No one does that anymore. And what did they win when Guidry was here?
Well, he has World Series rings.
Was that Gerrit Cole's fault?
No, of course not. It's not Gerrit Cole's fault. It's not Aaron Judge's fault. It's the front office's fault for not giving them a roster that can win them pennants and rings at this point, because they can't even win a pennant.
Text them, because I got to hear on the broadcast too today about how they're going to get Dominguez back at some point, and Giancarlo Stanton, who's going to come back at some point. Does that change that the rest of the roster can't hit? Those are 2 guys coming back. There's 9 in the lineup, and it's not like Giancarlo Stanton was playing really, really well before he got hurt. But is he gonna? Have we forgotten that every time Giancarlo Stanton comes back from an injury, he tends to struggle and take a while to get back going really quickly? Also, a big factor in the Yankees winning games early on in the season was their pitching. Remember, they weren't winning games with their offense. Their pitching was really good. Their pitching has been awful. Their pitching's been awful since June. Nothing about this team is working. And again, we've said this a million times, and I'll keep saying it. How could you create a justifiable reason to keep Aaron Boone on this team at this point? If you don't, you're admitting that you don't care. And I do think we're at that point already. I do think. I'm not one of the Hal haters. Fire. I'm not like that. But it really does show that if you keep the manager and you don't try something at this point, that you don't care, because it can't get any more devastating than this. We're almost now 2 months into a slump. I mean, they were 30 games over 500, and they've been atrocious. They've been atrocious. They had 50 wins a month and a half ago. They now have 60. And the best part of the whole thing is if you do something drastic like trade a bunch of players, empty the farm system, or fire the manager and get a restart where, by the way, you have a manager to plug right in as soon as you fire Boone, and the team decides to take off and play inspired, which we know they have the capability of doing because the team is not as bad as they're playing right now, you still have a chance of winning this division. Because it's not like Baltimore's taken the football and run 100 yards either. Baltimore's been awful. They lost to the Marlins again tonight. So, I mean, it's still a one-game lead for them in the AL East, which is insane because if we're going to be talking reality, Baltimore should be up about 12 games in the division at this point.
Oh, at least 12 to 15 games.
It's been that bad. So, Baltimore has not taken advantage of it either. It seems a lot like Baltimore has fallen into this, we'll be fine kind of attitude. They think they're good. They think they're this great young team, which they are, but you got to earn your stripes a little bit. They haven't seemed to do that. Now, the problem is Baltimore has all of the prospects and all of the ammo to go get really good stud players and improve their team really good. Like Baltimore could easily go out there and get a Luis Robert and a Gerrit Crochet at the deadline and make a big splash, and everyone's got to say, oh no. So they have the capability of doing that. I don't know if the Yankees have the capability of doing that without making their farm system the worst farm system in all of baseball. Because now you're talking Spencer Jones. You're talking every top-tier prospect the Yankees have getting moved down. But Stacey, if you want to preserve this season, which I think you guys can tell us in the comments, I don't see how you can't make a case for preserving this season because while they've been terrible, they still have Juan Soto on this roster for maybe just the rest of this year. Because Juan Soto's comments the other day, I want to I want to play for a consistent championship contender. They are currently not playing like that.
No.
Now, they are the New York Yankees. The symbol does mean something, but they're not playing like a consistent championship contender. And I don't know what player that is serious about playing for a consistent championship contender is going to want to stay with this team. Because they're not that. They're not playing like that right now. I can't picture a scenario, and I don't think they do this, but they have a manager in the waiting, and after getting swept by your intercity rival, that, again, not a lot of people consider a rival, but they consider themselves a rival, getting swept by them in a season series and not moving on for the manager, especially going into an off day, I can't see a better scenario, a better time than to do it right now. I'm hoping and praying, and I'm not a religious guy, that I see a notification up they just fired Aaron Boone. It'd be terrific. I wouldn't let him leave the stadium without getting fired. I don't see how going into an off day with Ausmus on the bench, ready to go, how you could possibly not make a change. Do something. To go with the consistent same thing, and the big change that was made was moving Gleyber Torres into the leadoff hole today. Not enough, guys. That's not enough. Stacey, I mean, please, the floor is yours. I feel like I can go on for an hour now. It's gotten to the point where it's so ridiculous. What are we going to do? At this point, we should just go at every show continuing saying, they had good at-bats.
Yeah.
They're right there.
But did they? No, right what we're going to do is we have to take another break. We have to take another break. So we will finish this discussion in a moment, and we will look at some of your comments because I just saw one that was really, actually, you know what? I'm going to put it up because it's really funny. Hold on. Also, thank you for this because I don't. Jim Kwan, am asking this tonight. Who else has a crush on Stacey G? First of all,
where's the love for me?
Thank you for spelling my name right because there is an E in there. It's on the screen. It's EY, not CY. Thank you. And Brian is Brian with an I, not with a Y. Just saying.
Where's my love? Everyone's got a crush on you. No one's got a crush on me out there. I mean, geez.
Not everyone, but okay. So, all right. We will come back to this discussion in a moment.
This episode of Locked On Yankees is brought to you by Booking.com. Yeah, it's summer and that means baseball, but summer also means travel, so why not mix the two? Don't you think it's time that you've explored some of those cities across the country that you secretly want to learn about? And we're talking about Yankees rival cities. Planning a trip to Fenway to see the Yankees take on the Red Sox this weekend? Booking.com makes it a breeze, and it's not just about hotels. You can choose from a variety of accommodations like bed and breakfast, vacation rentals, resorts, and more, all with the convenience of Booking.com. On Booking.com, you can find the perfect stay even in your baseball team's rival city. And for Yankee fans, that means more than just Boston. It means Toronto. It means Baltimore. It means Tampa. You can book hotels that overlook stadiums or book family-friendly resorts. Booking.com has so many choices across the U.S. for your summer travels this MLB season. The right stay can make you a fan of any U.S. city, even your rivals. Book today on Booking.com, on the site, or in the Booking.com app. And this episode of Locked On Yankees is brought to you by PrizePicks. PrizePicks is the easiest and most exciting way to play daily fantasy sports, and unlike other apps, on PrizePicks, it's just you against the numbers. All you do is pick more or less on 2 to 6 player stat projections and watch the winnings roll in. You can now win up to 100 times your money on PrizePicks with as little as 4 correct picks. You can turn $10 into $1,000. With the NBA season on their yearly break, the hoops action doesn't stop on PrizePicks. Women's basketball is heating up, and with stars like Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese looking to make names for themselves, alongside greats like Brianna Stewart and Aja Wilson, you can win up to 100 times your cash watching these girls ball out. Download the PrizePicks app today and use code LOCKEDONMLB for a first deposit match of up to $100. That's code LOCKEDONMLB on PrizePicks for a deposit match of up to $100. Pick more, pick less. It's that easy. Locked On has launched the first ever national sports 24/7 streaming channel on YouTube, and now it's also available on Amazon Fire TV in the free Fire TV channels app. Locked On Sports Today is here for you 24/7, covering the top sports stories of the day with the local experts of Locked On, plus our national shows that are covering every league. Find Locked On Sports Today now, available on the free Fire TV channels app. And remember that you can catch every pitch of the Yankees hometown broadcast with SiriusXM. You just got to download the SXM app and search the word Yankees. Stacey, welcome back. Going into an off day tomorrow, the Yankees are going to be, off. You can watch any World War II documentaries you feel like you want to watch. That might be more entertaining than the Yankees play as of late. I don't know what else you can really say. I don't know how you go into the Boston series with the same coaching staff, with the same manager, with the same mantra. Do I feel like they will? Absolutely. But I can't justify a reason for doing the same thing. Another stupid comment that I wanted to bring up that was made on the broadcast, not the fans, the broadcast.
Okay,
you guys have been, no. We have 137 people currently in the live streaming. You guys have been absolutely awesome. I mean, these comments are rolling and you guys have been terrific. Not actually saying that at all. I was saying it about the broadcast.
Okay, I got worried. I'm like, oh no.
Yeah. During the broadcast, it was mentioned when Dominguez was thought about being brought back. Where would Dominguez play? Yep, late in the game. And I'm sitting here like, left field, center field, heck, put him at catcher. He's better than anything they have going out there right now. But isn't it fairly obvious that Verdugo can't hit right now?
Yeah, I and it's so funny, too. The thing that cracks me up is the Yankees are literally on ESPN every other week. They're going to be on again Sunday, right? Against the Red Sox. Because we can't escape ESPN. And I love how the Yankees love to completely embarrass themselves on national TV on ESPN. They can never have a good game on ESPN.
No, never.
It's just nightmare watching them on ESPN, no matter what. If it's a Wednesday, if it's a Sunday, it doesn't matter what day it is. I don't understand how you can do as many Yankee games as you've done in the past 2 months and not know things about them.
Every single game this weekend upcoming in Boston is going to be a night game because they obviously can't play a day game at Fenway Park either.
Oh, no. Are they on Fox on Saturday?
They are. Both Friday and Saturday night, I will be at a concert. And unfortunately, because of my job, I will be, and my obsession with baseball, my sick obsession, I'll be watching on my phone while at a concert, and I don't know why I'm doing that to myself. I don't like myself for doing it. And then Sunday we'll come on and we'll rehash the sweep. I'm sure that's coming, or the 2 out of 3 loss where I got to hear after the 1 win. Like what I saw, we're right there. You know that's what we're gonna get. This team has gotten so frustrating. It's gotten so unbelievable. It's gotten so ridiculous at this point. I can't remember a season in my lifetime more upsetting. And more upsetting mainly because, let's be real, right? Let's paint this into a picture. Let's add some comedy into it and get out of where we've been with this Yankee team. It's not all about depression, right? Do you know what this Yankee team has been for us this season? This Yankee team is a relationship that starts off and you're not sure how you feel about it, right? You meet her on Hinge, you meet her on Bumble, and you don't know how you feel about it, but you're going to go on the first date because, damn it, that's what you do, right? And the first month goes by and you're having a great time. You're surprised. You're like, this might be too good to be true. And the second night goes by and you're looking at engagement rings, right? Every kiss begins with K, and you're going wild thinking this is the greatest relationship I've ever had. And then all of a sudden it collapses. All of a sudden, it completely falls apart. All of a sudden, it's gotten to become the worst relationship you've ever seen, you could ever imagine. She's cheated 1,000,000 times. She doesn't have a home. She lives out of her car. You don't know what's going on at this point. That's what this Yankee team has been. It's went from the greatest relationship you could possibly have, because did anybody in their right mind in spring training coming into this season see them playing as good as they played in April or May? We certainly didn't. Neither of us did. And to the flip side, did anybody at all see them playing as bad as they played in June and July?
No. And
it's been the flip side of both.
It's really, the thing about it is, all right, I lived through 1990. That was the summer I turned 16, and the 1990 Yankees were absolutely putrid. But the thing is, the 1990 Yankees didn't have Juan Soto, Aaron Judge, and Gerrit Cole on the roster. And these guys currently are playing just as bad, or sometimes, in some cases, even worse than the 1990 Yankees. It's so puzzling to me. It is.
There are 4 potential Hall of Famers on this roster right now.
Right. And it's just, oh my goodness. So, right. We didn't expect them to be as good as they were in April and May. But we certainly didn't expect them to do this is a complete 180. Complete.
That's the problem, too, is what we were saying going into the trade. We were saying this about a month ago. If they just play 500 baseball on the last 4 months of the season, they would have been the top. They would have won the AL East by 8 games with how bad Baltimore's been. They just had to play 500 baseball the rest of the year.
And they can't even do that.
They're playing 300 baseball. Yeah. They've been so unbelievably bad. It feels like a nightmare. It feels like a bad dream. Obviously, I wasn't alive for the 1990 Yankees. Thank goodness I wasn't. But yeah. That team didn't have a young Derek Jeter on it, right? That team didn't have Andy Pettitte on it. It didn't have the studs that you won those World Series with in the late 90s. So you didn't see something building with that 1990 team. This team has the studs that you've built on it, has the Hall of Famers, it has the big payroll, right? You've got Gerrit Cole, who's likely going to trot into the Hall of Fame. Juan Soto, who's a Hall of Famer. Judge, who, we'll see, but as a Hall of Fame talent. Giancarlo Stanton, who could be a Hall of Famer. You've got guys that are great baseball players. And, not to mention Gleyber Torres, who's had a 38 home run season and a 100 RBI season. You've got other players in this team that have had really, really, really solid careers. And they look lifeless. They look like there's nothing going on with them. The GM is not speaking. The head coach is not speaking. The captain doesn't call the team out. What more could go wrong? It feels like when they go down in a game, whether it's the first inning, 8th inning, 9th inning, 6th inning, there's no chance they're coming back in any game.
Right. And it was
their win total.
It was the opposite at the beginning of the season, where it felt almost like I remember at the beginning of the season being like, I love this because it feels like they're never out of a game. And now it's the complete opposite again, where you just, okay, it's 5-2. There's nowhere it could be 5-2 in the second inning, and you feel like there's no way, even in those 7 innings remaining, that they're going to score, because that's how it is right now.
You guys all in the comments remember in April when I was in my second home in Vegas, and I like to go off of what they predict the teams are going to do in the season, because generally their win totals are kind of spot on of where a team's going to be within 2 or 3 games, which is impressive. They had the Yankees at 93 wins going into this year. And going in, you really felt like after the first 2 months, they're going to, like Vegas was super wrong. They're going to cruise past that number. Stacey, they might not hit the number still.
Right.
They might not hit 93 wins. I mean, they're not, at this point, they're not going to hit 90. They are playing at that level of putrid right now. I look at it right here. I look at it every single day. I look at the standings. There's a legitimate chance they miss the postseason.
Mm-hmm.
After being the first team to 50 wins.
Yeah.
There's a legitimate chance they miss the playoffs. Think about that.
Yep. Did anyone watch the post game? Because I was busy setting up the stream. I didn't even bother watching post game coverage because I know they go to Yes sometimes after the game on ESPN.
Now ESPN went to a soccer game.
Right. No, but
so
Yes.
I'm not sure if Yes did it. I'll read some posts for you guys that were quotes from the clubhouse. Aaron Judge, we got ball players in here. They're not going to let a couple of bad stretches falter what they can do. It's a game of failure, but you've got to stay confident. Aaron Judge, we just have to play better. That's what it comes down to. I don't know what that does for anybody. That's not him calling someone out like we want to see. And there's a million things going on through Twitter. Juan Soto, I try to keep everything in the field. At the end of the day, we're humans. We have families, and that's what we got to take care of. When he was asked about if it's hard to get losses out of his head. It's hard to imagine that they could be playing this bad. I can't imagine them ever winning with this manager.
No.
Aaron Boone, when being asked if this is more than just a poor stretch lately. Aaron Boone, I'm not defining it. We have it right in front of us. We're a really good team that has played bleeply of late. We need to be better. We're pissed off in there. We got a lot of pride in there. We've got a lot of expectations. Stretch slump recently. I don't give a bleep. We got to play better the rest of the way.
No kidding. Thank you, Captain Obvious. Which company has Captain Obvious as their spokesperson?
We'll leave you with this because we have to go soon, but we'll leave you with this comment. This is Aaron Boone in the press conference when asked after the first question. One of the things I really liked tonight was how hooked up we were in the dugout in the 8th and 9th inning. I'm not worried about the compete level with these guys.
What? Let me tell all 178 people who are in here right now. I was going around my house looking for paper bags because I jokingly wanted to start the live stream with a paper bag over my head because that's how embarrassed I am to be a Yankee fan right now. So thank you for that, Aaron Boone. Oh, yeah, they were really keyed in the 8th and 9th inning when the team went down 12-2 and they were at the top of the dugout. Great. Oh, boy. Yeah.
They stink like all kinds of stink, but thank God they were engaged late.
Yeah. Can't hit the ball, can't pitch, but they were really keyed in there in the last 2 innings watching the game. I see some comments about hiring Cone.
They're not doing that.
No, but I don't think Cone really wants to do that.
No.
I'd asked him he was on the show 3 years ago, and I believe I asked him about that.
If you got David Cone's life, why would you?
Right. Like, why would he want to deal with this? Who would want to deal with this? John
Holmes, could it be that the Mets are just a better team? They are.
Right now they are.
They are a better team than the Yankees right now. And the Yankees started the year 5-0, and the Mets started the year 0-5. Right now, the Mets are a better baseball team.
Yeah, right now, because that's how baseball is. Because, things can turn around for them as well. Whatever. The Mets are playing the way they should have played last season with all of the expensive people that they had on their roster. And this was the transition year where they were like, okay, we'll throw away 24. We'll start doing things in 25. And yet here they are. And then the Yankees, again, a team with Juan Soto, Aaron Judge, Gerrit Cole should not be doing this badly. Now, I will give Gerrit a break because he literally just started pitching.
Yeah.
Within the past few weeks. There's something clearly not yet, there's something not right with him. I could see it when I watch him pitch. He might not be feeling 100% right now. And I don't think he's going to admit that, which is kind of annoying.
And I think there's potential too, just to add in too, there's potential that he rushed himself back because they were playing so poorly and they needed him back that he rushed himself back.
Right. Because the pitching fell off a cliff and Cole was like, I kind of got to step in here now. Right. And help this sinking ship. And You know, I mean, that's just the way he is. So, I don't know. Something's got to change. I'm just happy it's an off day tomorrow.
Yep. And it's a Fan Mail Friday. So all
Yes.
170 people in our comments, you know what? Let's have fun tomorrow. Let's relax. Let's look at it as a vacation, right? We're on holiday for a day. Ask us any of the questions you want. Heck, I know you're going to want to make it Yankees related, and you're going to want to make it go out of the box if you want. Let's all take a break and relax. We'll complain. We'll talk about the Yankees because it is Locked On Yankees. But ask us whatever questions you want. Obviously, our insiders get top priority, but go ahead. Ask us what you want, because I'm at the point where, you know what? Let's have a good show. Let's relax. We'll talk Yankees. Of course we will. But ask us some fun questions too, because we all deserve that.
We do. So yeah, Fan Mail Friday, get those questions in. I will put the pinned comment up once we're done with this, but you can also reply to the pinned comments on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday's videos if you want to get questions in. You can join the Locked On Yankees Insiders Club. There's a link in the description under the YouTube videos. There's a 14-day free trial. So with Fan Mail Friday, you get top priority when you're an insider. You also get texts from us when there's roster moves. I sent the lineup out today just to see what people's reactions were going to be. We have conversations with you. It's fun. And I came up with an idea for the insiders for a special perk. So if you join the Insiders Club, you'll find out what that special perk is. And remember, you can catch every pitch of the Yankees hometown broadcast with SiriusXM. Just download the SXM app and search the word Yankees if you want to be tortured listening to this team play as badly as they've been playing. So that'll do it for this live edition of Locked On Yankees. Thank you to everyone who joined us. Thank you to everyone who watched Wednesday's show, because as we said, 9,600 views. That's our second most viewed video on YouTube. So that is just really cool. Thank you so much. And again, that'll do it for this live edition of Locked On Yankees. I'm Stacey Gotsoulias.
And I'm Brian McKeon. Thank you, everybody. And we'll see you tomorrow for Fan Mail Friday.